Hello, traders. Got a couple of things I'd like to show you on the old price action today. Last night we opened right here with a gap, and my hypo was that we would trade down into the fair value gap and on that 4 hour chart. Had one on both ES and on NQ, and that's exactly what we did. If you look at the 4 hour, we opened last night around right here, well, on this candle right here, and we went all the way down, traded through the fair value gaps, took out these lows on the 4 hour chart, and we left this low. I was a little worried because we left that low, but the signal was good, and I hopped on it at a bad time of day. That's another thing. These signals have been occurring at a bad time of day. You don't want to go into the open with a news driver and everything else coming out at 8:45. Even though the signal's good, I mean, I've been very reluctant to do that. But I did it. Let's look at the 1 minute chart, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we've gone down there, we swept all that liquidity, and that's one of the requirements for one of these breakers to be a strong, uh, you know, don't worry about it kind of a signal. You can get all kinds of signals up in this chop, but it hasn't taken a major time frame low or a major time frame high at that time. You could go through your charts for this weekend and just look, put on a 4 hour chart. Every time a high of a 4 hour chart is taken, put a little box around it and then go back to it in a 1 minute time frame. And I bet you there's a reversal pattern there that sweeps the most recent swing low. Okay. So here's our breaker. This is our run on liquidity. Definitely all red candles, exhaustion wick. And then we come up and we get at the top of the breaker and we just kind of stay there for a good long while from New York New York time, 8:30, all the way almost to the opening bell. So an hour, we're just sitting right here for an hour. And then finally, just before the opening bell, we validate the breaker with a fair value gap. We wick down into the fair value gap, respect it and respect it. I went long there. This is the opening candle. When it didn't pierce through it, I went ahead and went long. And of course, in this situation, our breaker is 40 points. That's a big breaker. So one micro, $80. Two micros, $160. Three micros, $240. But, my aim was half of the opening gap. How do you figure the opening gap? Well, you figure where settlement was yesterday and where we opened today. You put on regular trading hours here, you can see there it is. So you put on a fib from where we closed to where we opened, which is about right there. Half the gap is right here. We filled it right there at that one. We ended up pushing a little higher throughout the day, but only half the gap is the rule is it's actually 70% of the time it will fill in the first 30 minutes. And it took us till 11 to fill it today. But with that gap rule in mind and everything, I did go ahead and take that trade, and I don't usually take trades that early in the day. But the signal was wonderful, and I just couldn't resist. Now, whenever I knew there was a big number coming out, the housing number and everything was coming out at 8:45, which that hit somewhere right here, and we started doing a little dance. The candles were kind of jumping, and I got a little scared, and I ended up taking the trade off. But from here to the center of the gap, which I think was right here. Yeah, I think that was it right there. That was a very nice payday. I think I had 5 micros on and it was $1,300. So you get in here at the base of that fair value gap and you go all the way to there. That is 250 points roughly. And so that's $500 on 1 micro. So I think I had 3 because when I put my take profit up there, it made me have $1,500 profit. Now, so I get the trade. This is where I'm going wrong. I get the trade and I start thinking, big number coming out. Oh, these candles are coming back down. There's no fair value gap here. It could come all the way back to my entry. It sure is dancing around. Oh my gosh, it's scaring the hell out of me. We went up, we made a new high, we're pulling back. Oh, I better get out. That's what usually happens. And I ended up getting out with a trade profit of around $500 on that trade. Then I decided now we're no longer at a big time frame level. We didn't just take the low at a big time frame. And this is what happens to me almost every time. I take that first trade, make $500, and I'm like, ooh, I want more. And I start looking for reversal patterns here in all this. So maybe I'd mark this one for more downside. And then I'm like, well, did we run liquidity here? Is this a new breaker? You know, stuff like that. And I start trying to figure out if there's a possibility that we could be having a new breaker somewhere. I know there was one here because Adam was telling me about it, but I can't remember where it was. It may have been that one when it came back down. These were just too straight for me. I knew they were going to go back up there. And I want to say I took another trade there, but I was long and short and short and long and whittling away my profit the whole time. And the same thing occurred last night during Asia. I ended up getting short where we opened on Asia, which I think it was here. We pushed up. We never took that high again. And with that lower hanging fruit, I did sell short here with the expectation we'd go to half of that fair value gap. Just a stop above there, even on 1 micro, 400 point drop, that's $800. So, but once again, I watched it. I got in my own way, got scared, and I ended up taking a profit, but it was not the kind of profit that I wanted. And then once I'm out, trying to get back in, to me, is a scary proposition. I don't know where would be a good place to enter. And so I'm having a difficult time finding a place to enter that doesn't get me stopped out immediately. I'll just say that. Okay, so this one, beautiful, went up, went to my take profit goal, which was half the gap, about right there. I believe it's right there. And then we ended up going up into about 75% of the gap, and we failed to get any higher. This little array right here is very similar to what we had right here. I mean, this is close to the round number. We're at 21,000 even right there, and it just would not get there. We got to 90, and at this one we got up to 94, and we still would not get there. And then we pulled back and we swept the lows. And I'm pretty sure I was long in here somewhere expecting it to go to 21. Had lost my money on that little trip down. But you could mark out a breaker in here saying this was a run on liquidity. The last up close would be this one right here. We came down, touched it to the tick, and went on up. So you could mark that one. That would be a good one to mark. It wasn't a run all the way down on liquidity, but it definitely respected that son of a gun. Look at that. That must have been the one Adam was talking about. You see right there? When we ran this liquidity, there's that breaker. Let me make sure I'm on the high of it. Yeah, right there. We came back down to it. Here's the fair value gap when it left. Wicked into it, Candle bodies completely respected. Wicks only did the damage. There's the top of that fair value gap right there. So if you entered right there, you would have been good. Or you could have entered over here and you would have been good. You could have entered here, taken profit there, re-entered here, taken profit a little higher up. But either way, that's a nice signal. We just ran this liquidity. We did minor sell side, not major sell side way down here. So that one would have been a decent signal to get involved somewhere along the way. Then we come all the way up here and we're trying, it's the same kind of a deal. We're trying to push through 21,100 even. We get close several times. We get up to 2183. And I'm thinking for sure we're going this time. For sure. Zip up there. For sure we're going this time. So here's our highest point. That would make the last, yeah, is that it? I don't think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. The last up close candle. Yeah, we're running up. So we need to do the last down close before the run up. I don't know where my mind is at right now. I think that's why I'm having a little trouble trading. Okay, so it's this one right here. That's the high of it. And this is the low of it. We validated it here. Fair value gap, very nice. Ran for this liquidity. Went back up to it, respected it with the candle bodies. Came back down, ran for that liquidity. Went back up, touched it. Came down again, ran almost to this liquidity. Not quite. Went back up, took out that high. Still, candle bodies are respecting it. And I was talking to Adam. I'm like, I'm still going to go short. I can't go against my system here. It looks like it's going to go higher. There's lots of, it could fill the gap, but this is my system. I got to stick with it. And so I went short, aiming for these relative equal lows right here. And then that was it for me for the day. I was like, that's it. I'm out. I can't take this price action anymore. And so I think I was in here, in short over here, maybe. And maybe I got short about here, but it went down and then I was negative again. Then it went all the way down here, didn't take the lows, and then I was negative again, big negative. And then finally it went down and took it out. And I just couldn't take it anymore. But at the end of the day, we did end up respecting it one more time and then all the way down. So that one was a difficult one to trade, but it did pan out. The computer was definitely referring to that order block, or that breaker, as being a point of, we don't want to go any higher than that. So that was a good one if you could catch one of those trades. The problem, the thing is, I worked and worked and worked and tried to guess which way it was going all freaking day long. And then on my practice account, I took one trade, let it run to my target. I didn't realize I was on my practice account when I took the trade, but I set it all up just like I would in my regular account. And then I was like, oh, this is my practice account. And I went over to my regular account and managed to chop, stressful all day long, and make $268. And then I go over here to play around after the market's over, and I'm up $1,600, and I left it alone completely. No interference by Mr. Potter whatsoever. And look at that. So I'm thinking I need to start doing this in my regular account. Stop interfering. You see the signal, you have a good target, leave it alone. It either works out or it doesn't. I think I would have a whole lot more success if I just get out of my own way. But that's the market for today. Um, I think this was the trade of the day, even though it was scary. We had the news driver. I think that was our entry of the day of the half gap fill right to there. Target 250 points, 1 micro, $500, 3 micros, $1,500, 5 micros. I don't know. Can I do that math? $2,500. Yeah. That was the trade of the day for me. But you could have entered again here and just try to take out relative equal highs. A little bit of a chop city in there, but nothing too bad. All right, so for the weekend, let's look at this. 4 hours. Just go back through, do a little chart homework, and go back through, especially like one of these little chop zones here. Like, say right here, okay? So we'll put a box around that. So we'll be able to recognize it when we put it in. We won't extend it. We don't need to extend it. There we go. So we got a box around it. We see a 4-hour candle the top has been taken. Okay, so we're going to look for a reversal pattern there and see if we don't have a good setup. This to me is a high quality setup. You can do it on smaller time frames too. 1 hour works pretty good. 4 hour, pretty daggum solid. Okay, so we've come up. Finally, so all that noise on the 1 minute chart looks pretty rough. Finally, we take those highs and let's see if we get a reversal signal here. I bet you we do. So I always get all down in the mouth. My last down close candle before the run up. Well, it's all the way down here. That's half the move already. I get all sad, but shouldn't get all sad. Should just be happy I've got a system that works, or that ICT showed me a system that works. But yeah, so it's all the way down here, and we've run all the way up there. That's only, 30 points. But anyway, so we chop, come down, take out the lows, go back up, make a lower high, and then we start falling out of bed. Fair value gap there, fair value gap here, wick into it. We're short right there. We put our order right here, a tick above that, we're short. Where do we aim? Well, you can aim anywhere you want. You could do low hanging fruit here, lower the that one. That's relative equal lows. I'd be aiming for right there. I bet you that's a lot of money. Let's see what 1 micro would have paid us on that. We got in right here at that wick, and we went to relative equal lows. That is 94 points, 95 points. We'll just round up to 100. We'll say we put it a little bit below it. 100 points on 1 micro is $200. That's pretty good living for a day. If you make $200 a day, that's $4,000 a month trading. And there really isn't that much that has to be done there. Even if you don't know how to spot a reversal signal, you can just put an order to go short. A $200 stop loss, $200 take profit at the high of a 4-hour candle or the low of a 4-hour candle. And more times than not, you're going to be right. So chart homework. Let's do another one. I think that would be fun. Get rid of that. Let's go back to a 4-hour chart. Let's do one from the other direction. What about this little setup right here? Wonder if there's a reversal there. We took the low out. We got 2 relative lows right here. And then we took the low out. And we kind of passed it. We could even say we took this one out, traded a little lower than expected, maybe. Halfway through that fair value gap. Yeah, that one's a little bit too ambiguous. Let's look at a different one. Here we go. High. We took the high. So we'll look at this little area right here. we'll just look at that one for a reversal pattern. This one right here. So we took this high, because this is 8 hours apart. It may be difficult to see this high whenever we get in there, but we'll try it. Okay, so let's go back to a 1 minute chart. Let's go all the way back to where our little box is. Wherever that was, there it is. All right, so there's our high and our high. Let's see. So this is our other 4 hour high, and then we took it out. See if we have a reversal pattern here. Lots of Chop City, highest candle, the last down close before the run. That's this guy right here. There's the bottom portion of it. I'll just mark the bottom for interest of time. Okay, so we came down through it, but no fair value gaps. We pushed back up, stayed within it. Yeah, that's why I need the daggum top in it. There's the top of it. We stayed within it. We made a lower high here, lower high there, within, even respecting the halfway point of the breaker, pulled away with a fair value gap. We enter there, and adios, pie-yaw. Look at that son of a gun rip. Man, that took back the entire dadgum day. So where you'd take profit, I don't know. On a larger time frame, I would say like a 15-minute time frame, you'd probably be looking at a low right down here. So let's say you just took that one. How much distance would we get there? We got short right beneath the breaker, and we went to these. We'll do those. They're flat. That is, that's 64, 62, $120 on one micro. So you need two to get your $200 bill. You get $240 off 2 micros right there. Not too bad. Not too bad. Small risk too. That's not even a giant breaker. So let's see what that would be. 13. All right. That's it. I'm not going to talk any longer because I know y'all don't like to have videos that are a million miles long. But what we're going to do, I would recommend this for chart homework, and then just kind of go over the setups for the day. Adam is getting really good at spotting those things, and he helps me see them, a lot of the ones I missed. If y'all want to join the chat group with us, it's on my Facebook page, and there's a link in the description below. Just get in there, and once you join, I'll know, it'll show me that you joined, and I can add you to the chat group if you would like to be added. Just put a post in there on the group that you'd like to be added. And we can all just kind of discuss what we're seeing in the price action for the day, or talk about what we need to do better at the end of the day. It's really up to you. Remember to be kind to yourself and be kind to one another. This Memorial Day weekend, be safe. You're going to go out there and burn a piece of meat on a barbecue grill. I love each and every one of you, and I want you to be here to trade on Tuesday. Monday, I think the market may be open for limited hours, but I'm not even sure. I think it may be shut down. I'm not going to trade till Tuesday. I need a break. So I'm taking a break. But until next time, trade well.